to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
All right, guys, we're back. That was a little bit longer break than what we had intended, but that's because Dogbone Enterprises is here today. Took us out back, showed us the boat.
Yes, the boat.
The dog pound boat. That was
crazy.
Awesome. We got our dog bones here.
Yeah.
And kind of crazy. These are actually the dog bones that the Browns use for their turnover chains.
Yep.
These are the turnover chains for the Cleveland Browns. He was showing us all the pictures of what was it, Isaiah McGuire and Zadarius Smith and Thornhill and guys wearing the dog pound, the turnover chain. So go check out, what was it, Facebook he said?
Yeah.
Dogbone Enterprises.
Dogbone Enterprises.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys can order yourself a dog, the turnover chain. These things are sweet. They're hand painted.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
This is new wardrobe for new drip for next year.
Probably wearing this every episode from now on.
There you go.
It'll at least be hanging in the studio.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. So how's everybody doing out there? I'll get my chat pulled back up here. I don't even have it. We ran out there so quick. But again, I guess if you guys are new to the stream here, just joining us, we are live streaming from Wabash Lanes in New Philadelphia, Ohio for the Bowl with Browns Legends event put on here by the Tuscarawas County Browns backers. It's a ton of fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, people here seem to be having a very good time. We sat down a little bit ago with Anthony Griggs, and we just got done talking with Greg Pruitt. And I think we got a couple of the hosts from the Bearded Browns show.
Yes.
Going to join us here in a few minutes. We'll try to get some of these other Browns alumni on here, though they are very entrenched in bowling right now. I love these events because you see these guys and almost like the very youthful side comes back out, and it's the competition is there. And
Absolutely.
They might only be bowling a 96, but they don't care. They just want to beat the other guy going against them.
Yeah. 96 is pretty much like what my score would be.
That's why I threw it out. That's why I threw it out there, because that's me too.
That's like right about the range I'm sitting in.
All right, I'm just trying to pull up the chat here for everybody so I can talk to you guys. If you guys have questions that you want us to kind of dive into or to talk, once the Bearded Browns get down here and talk with us as well, we can bring up your questions with them and go from there. But yeah, this has been a ton of fun. Reminder, today's live stream is presented by Omaha Steaks. So head over to omahasteaks.com right now. Get everything you guys need for 4th of July cookouts. It's coming quick. I can't believe how close we are to 4th of July. June has just kind of rained itself away.
Yep.
And now we're in the, what are they calling this? The Heat Dome?
So far.
Yeah, the Northeast or whatever, the Heat Dome that we're in. I think that's what it's being called on the news or whatever. But 4th of July is going to be awesome. We're all going to be cooking out. So get your cookout gear from Omaha Steaks. Right now it's 50% off site-wide. They're doing a 4th sale, and you get $45 extra off your order with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, when you check out. So great time to take advantage of the sale and get ready for 4th of July. That's omahasteaks.com. All right, now I finally got my chat pulled back up. I don't know. It seems like people are just probably arguing in here about Shador, and that's fine. We're going to be doing that for months, like we said. It's going to be a Shador summer.
Yeah.
Shador training camp, and I do think the Browns have, no matter who ends up starting week 1 for the Browns, we have better options than we had last year, no matter what.
I agree with that. Even just on basic level, just completely turn the room around.
Yeah.
We were all in pretty much the same court last year where we went, what we're getting as far as, the room and output just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough to get more than 3 wins. And I think a lot of it was on the quarterback play.
It was on the quarterback play, the offense being run, the scheme, Ken Dorsey. It was a nightmare. It was the perfect storm of, just everything that could go wrong did.
Yep.
And, I mean, Jameis Winston injected a little bit of life into things whenever he got in there, but that didn't last for very long. We all knew what the story is with Jameis. Everybody knows. I mean, he's going to throw the ball a ton. He's going to put up yards and touchdowns. He's going to turn the ball over.
Yep.
And that's also what we're getting with Joe Flacco. So as much as, we like Joe Flacco, what he did for us in 2023, you guys have to be able to expect that as fans and know that, yes, if Joe Flacco starts week 1 and he starts the first, whatever quarter of the season, we're going to put up yards. We're going to move the ball. We're going to score. We're going to be competitive. It's going to be fun. But there's also going to be a lot of opportunity for turnover.
Correct. Yeah.
All right, yep. So here come the bearded Browns. They're going to sit down with us. We won't even go to break or anything. We'll just, whatever side, guys. Just go ahead and sit down. Yep, you guys should be good. We got you?
Yeah, we're good.
Hey,
Good. All right, we're good.
I got a big head, so.
Hey. Wow.
All right.
Made it.
it's great.
Made it.
Yeah, you're the big guy.
Yeah, he's tall.
How tall are you?
6'6".
6. I was gonna say, I'm just looking at the camera here. It's like there's
no
me,
roof
there's
on him.
Justin,
Wow.
there's Angel,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry, your name was
Mike.
Mike. Okay, we talk on like Twitter and stuff
Yeah.
back and forth, but then I'm never exactly sure
Who he's
name with
talking
the face.
to.
Yeah,
Right.
so excellent. So good to have you guys join us. What do you guys
Thank
think
you.
so far of the event?
This is fun. My kids are having a blast. They're out bowling me, so that's how it goes.
That's
It's all
easy.
right. That's what I said. I was like, my score would have been like 96. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's pretty much where I'm at.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got like 90. I don't know how the bumpers helped.
Oh,
but-
you got bumpers up too, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
For kids, not
we
for
got
me, for the
questions
kids.
now. We
I
gotta,
bowled 3 times when my watch said stop. That's all it said. I was
Oh, no.
sweating.
Well, here, you guys chat for a sec. I got to fix your camera because your head,
You're
like,
tall.
I think I got your beard and that's it. So hang on, give me a sec. You guys keep going.
You're tall, Mike.
Oh, man. So, do you guys want to do just a little brief introduction of your, I
Sure.
know most of our listeners know you guys, but do you want to do a little background?
You
Yeah,
start.
sure. So on a quick whim here, I decided that one day I was going to start a Browns podcast before I even knew about you guys. I'm like, I'm going to just do it. So I went online, I bought this equipment. I started doing it by myself on my own personal Facebook, and everybody's like, don't quit your day job. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But then I met Angel. Angel was doing like a bunch of Browns reels on Facebook, like his family, his wife and kids making fun of him for doing it. And I was like, man, this seems pretty cool. I'm going to talk to this guy and see if he wants to come on and do a show with me for fun and see what happens. Well, we wound up working out. We did a pretty good show. We had fun. Then it just progressed and got better and better.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you want to come back and do another one? And,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, let's just make this a thing. And we've got 2.5 years now that we've been running consistently.
That's great.
At least every Tuesday.
Man, that's a huge accomplishment. It's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy. Same story. We just started in COVID and just kind of.
Yeah. It's tough, like coordinating schedules and stuff whenever, you got lives, you got jobs, you got families and everything, and then you're trying to do a podcast for the Browns, and it's tough. It really is, but I mean, it definitely takes some serious dedication.
Yeah, it takes effort. It's got to be purposeful.
Yeah.
Especially when news drops. You're like, hey, babe, I know you're cooking eggs, but let me drop.
Yeah.
I got to make this template real quick. I gotta
Yeah,
drop
my
some
wife's
news.
real good about it. Every time I'm on my phone, and the kid's trying to talk to me, she's like, "Hang on, he's working."
Yeah.
and like she knows. She's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I am," but I try to pay attention as much as possible.
Yeah,
It's kind of funny.
sure,
we start this thing as like a hobby, right?
Yeah,
We all
right,
think it's
exactly.
like, this is going to be easy. We could just talk about the Browns once or twice a week. No.
No.
So it's actually a
It's-
full-time job.
it
in a
consumes
way.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
it does.
And the thing is, like, you want it aesthetically to look good too. So you
Yeah.
just don't want it to be like, I'm just gonna post something corny, right? 'Cause now you're like, it went from that to like, following you guys for years. I'm like, I kind of want to look aesthetically pleasing,
Yes.
not just like copy paste, right? So now you're teaching yourself. So you're in the lab, like, and your wife's knocking on the door. Hey, you coming out there after a couple of days? It's like, I'm trying to teach myself this stuff. But the last 2 years have been great. We're learning on the fly. Mike's been great with the tech stuff too. So
I wouldn't go that far.
Man,
I've
you've
been
been
winging
great.
it since 2023.
You've been doing a good job, man. Hey.
He's doing good.
Hey.
Well, speaking since 2023, so the 2 seasons that you guys have covered so far, has it been the 2023 and 2024? Did you guys start
It was the
year
middle
before
of like
that?
2022.
Okay.
In the middle of that year.
All right, so that year was a throwaway. I mean,
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson was suspended half the year. It didn't really matter. We knew nothing was going to happen that year and all that crap. But then 2023 was, hey, this team somehow makes the playoffs.
Yes.
Against all odds, everybody's hurt. And then last year was, we were just talking with Greg Pruitt, about as bad a season as you could possibly get.
Yeah.
So what are your guys' expectations for this season now in 24 or 25?
This season, I'm hoping the defense kind of carries us a little bit, at least for the first 5-6 games until we figure out the quarterback situation. That's a gamble in itself. You have so many different opinions as far as who you talk to, who they think you should start. But I don't expect a lot. I think 5-6 wins max.
No,
You
yeah.
kind of sound like Blake. I
Yeah,
think Blake's
so-
he's probably the lowest expectation of the three of us, don't you think?
I consider
How low
myself
are you?
an optimist, and I am.
That's why
I'm
Blake's
pretty
not
low.
here. I don't care.
I'm pretty low. and it's early. Like, we're talking about this stuff in May and June.
Yeah.
Like, a lot can happen, but like, I looked at the schedule, I was like, man, I don't know, 3 wins, 4, so like, I've learned that whenever I think that they're going to be really good, they're not going to be, and when I think they're going to be awful, they absolutely shock me and they take me on the time of my life. So I've just kind of learned to embrace and just sit back and let it play out. But how about you, man?
I think the offensive line is going to have a huge opportunity this year to show what they didn't last year, which is going to be amazing. We had Greg Pruitt on 2 weeks ago, and I asked him, is your offensive line important as a running back? He said, absolutely. I'm like, that's got to be the guys that hold your quarterback from getting sacked. It creates holes for the running back to get through there, so that's huge. As for quarterback, let's go with whoever is best. Angel wants to punch me for this, I know this, but honestly, we wasted 5 years and $230 million on one guy. Why not go out on one more whim and maybe have to start one of these rookies? Then so be it. If that guy's going to be better at the end of camp, then play him.
I agree with that, man. One of those guys, especially if a rookie steps up and is taking over camp, I mean, that's like perfect scenario as long as they are ready, you know.
I think if one of them shows that they can competently play the position, yeah, then you can have that conversation. But so you get mad at him for saying that. What's your opinion on it?
I feel like we as Cleveland, we go
that's
through
right. You're the Pickett guy. That's right.
Okay,
Blake should be here. Blake's our Pickett guy.
Every podcast
show
got
has a Pickett guy. Every show.
We call them Picketeers, right?
That's actually good. I should be a Picketeer. I'm joining the club right now.
Get a shirt, right?
I'm going to put a picket fence over your entire
No, I feel like as Browns fans or even the organization, we go to these series of events where we feel like we have to start a rookie and we damage them.
Yeah,
and then we blame the organization saying, this guy sucks, it's your fault. It's like, no, not they listen to us as fans, but we had the expectation of starting a rookie. So yes, I am on the Kenny Pickett train. The reason why I'm on the Kenny Pickett train is I don't think he had a good fair shot in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh had Matt Canada. Matt Canada stuck. He sucks, right?
Yep.
I'll give you a stat, too. I actually was reading up on this because I'm obsessed with Kenny Pickett. Don't judge me. But they only ran I forgot the offense said. Shoot, it just slipped my mind.
Who was it?
Play action.
Okay.
The play action only 16% of the time, and that's Kenny Pickett's. When they did run, he was 76% throwing.
Okay.
So that's high
Could be huge.
percentage. And when he went away from it dropped to like 30-something, right? 40-something.
Yep.
So I think I'm looking at it from that perspective and only that perspective. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to start Kenny Pickett and he's good in Kevin's system, that's what Kevin specializes in, and you have 2 good running backs, rookie young running backs, I think that you can make something out of him, even though people tend to go to his hand size only. When you ask them, why don't you like Kenny Pickett? And the only way they say, well, his hand size is like 2 inches. It's can we get into a little more depth here, like outside his hands? But I think that's what's encouraging. What I see in Kenny, what can work out in the offense.
I agree with you with the Pittsburgh thing. The offense, I got to see Pittsburgh, and him. And the playbook was just about as vanilla could get. And I'm pretty sure the one game that I was at, it was him against DTR, and I was just like, well, we aren't doing anything, nothing flashy out here. This is all going to be, 2-yard slants and, handoff for 1 yard, and that's pretty much what the whole game was. It was a super low game, but yeah, Blake's real big on, well, he was at least.
I think he's kind of cooled on Pickett, and he's definitely not as far in on Pickett as you are now currently. He was at one point.
At one point,
when things first started, he was very much Kenny Pickett over Joe Flacco for sure.
Yeah.
But it just, for Kenny Pickett, I just don't understand. I don't see what the future. He would have to play so well at such a high level to warrant an extension. For the Browns to, bypass the 2 first-round picks next year, to not try to see what they have in the rookies, I mean, he would have to do some work.
And then I'm pretty sure you have to pay him.
You would have to pay him.
You would have to pay him. So that's the other part that's unfortunate for it is like, he could be a great dude for this situation, and then we might end up not having him there anyway because we can't even afford him. The money stuff, like the salary cap stuff, I don't understand how any of that crap. I look at it, I go, hey, we don't have any money, and then literally I wake up the next day, I'm like, geez, we signed $40 million.
We didn't have any money.
I wish my bank account worked like how the salary cap, because I know when I pay my bills, it doesn't work the same way, but I just want to see somebody come out of it where we're like, there's some clarity and some we look like a real football team. You know, there's some I don't want to go out there and, hey, we're false starting now. We can't get lined up. Now we're 3rd and 20 and we're taking sacks. We're still trying to figure out what the hell our identity even is.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the coaching staff seems to be trending away from that. From what I'm hearing, all the OTAs and minicamp, that the structure and the discipline seems to be there as opposed to the past years.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so that's encouraging to hear, especially you got Bloomberg in there. He's an old school guy. He's going to probably yell at those players and not coddle them. So that's very encouraging to hear.
Yeah, Let me ask you guys a quick question.
Yeah, what's up?
I think it was Josh that actually said it. I was watching your guys' show where Flacco, after leaving the Ravens, has only gone 9-19. And 5 of those wins are with the Browns.
Crazy.
Is it a scheme thing, possibly? I mean, what could it be? That
I don't know. When that happened, I felt like you couldn't have had a perfect marriage. You know what I mean? Like, you have this old veteran, but he's great out of play action, got a cannon. And then you have this play action coach that, you know, like, I thought it was just such a beautiful mesh. Like, and it was just perfect for the 4 or 5 games, you know, that we needed him for. I worry about longevity only with him.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing is I'm like, if the line isn't good, I don't know how he holds up. And even if the line does hold up, I think, you know, just the wear and tear. I'm 39. I feel like crap. I can't imagine going
39 too.
Hey, 39 club. Hey, old man club.
I'm 42.
Oh, jeez, man. Wow.
Young man at the table.
I'm on the wrong podcast. I should be coming on hanging out with you guys. Jeez. Wow.
We're the senior podcast.
Yeah. No, that's okay. It's okay. But I just think long term.
Well, if you look at Joe Flacco last year with Shane Steichen in Indianapolis, it wasn't what it was with Kevin Stefanski the year before. I think it's very much scheme because Kevin does what Joe does. I mean, so well, and it did. It worked out
and
very,
would you
very
think,
nicely.
compared to when he was here, that run, you would think you would throw the ball less, right? Because obviously they're going to go to, hopefully, because Philly had a 60-40 run ratio last year. Hopefully you could kind of get into that 50, 55, 45 run ratio where you have the higher run as opposed to pass, and that can limit even the interceptions with Flacco, because you have to worry about that too,
For
right?
sure.
Like,
Well,
a lot of people forget about he's the one that threw us out of the playoffs.
Oh, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
like
I'm talking about fans, you know, not analysts, like people that try to do a podcast when you look at the numbers. You know, when you fans are like, Flacco's going to tear it up, I'm like, he might throw you out of the game a couple times.
Yeah.
You also got to think about if the offensive line goes back to what they used to be and they're able to create holes for these new running backs, Quinshon, I mean, come on.
Dude.
It's going to be insane.
Dude, well, and that's the thing is I feel like last year we couldn't even keep, you know, defenses on it. Like, we were like, yeah, we can't run the ball, you know, and if we do, it's minus a yard or a yard. And so I think they just kind of just knew what we were up to. They knew we were going to have to throw it a ton. We'd be behind.
And we did
all the things that worked against us.
We didn't have a running back last year who could make his own yards either. I mean, Nick Chubb made a career out of that too. I mean, obviously we had great blocking for those, you know, 4 years or whatever with Nick Chubb before the injury and everything, but still there were many plays where there's no hole or there's nothing. He's breaking a tackle and then ripping off 10 yards or whatever. Jerome Ford can't do that. He's not that kind of guy, you know. So I think hopefully the hope with like Quinshon is, you know, as soon as you see the hole, make the cut, get some yards, always be going forward. I hate the 2nd and 10s, the 2nd and 12s, because first down was just a bust.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible
I mean, you got a nice fresh set of legs coming right out of college. It's going to defense is not going to know what to look forward to. They're used to Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb. I think there's going to be a whole new run game this year that's going to be better than we think.
I think both the guys are dynamic.
That's a good point too about teams not having, you know, any tape on these young guys. They might not have tape on our quarterback either, depending on who it is. So we could be sneaky for at least a little bit if we get some competent quarterback play. We got the new running backs. How do you guys feel about wide receiver? We talked about that a couple hours ago here on the stream. We've been talking about it for weeks. It just feels like a position that could let us down.
We've been holding off on that on our podcast. We're like, we kind of want to see how this shapes out, but it's iffy, man. After Judy, it's kind of like Tillman has some upside. You look at Tillman like, man, it's there, but can he stay healthy?
Yes.
And then you have what ifs, like if Johnson is a good route runner and can catch the ball, because I know his issue in Pittsburgh, he dropped the ball occasionally.
Yeah.
And then you have Thrash. Like, is he going to be? Mike's big on Thrash. Like, is he going to blossom into what he was doing in OTs and minicamps? I heard nothing, but he was crisp routes and actually growing from last year. So to answer your question, long form, I'm scared. I'm terrified
nervous.
at Judy.
It's fair.
Honestly.
I am excited to see Jamari Thrash. I'm also excited to see the new tight end come. Man, that's going to be incredible to watch. Yeah, I mean, a kid out of Bowling Green.
Yeah.
just coming out here and dominating. I think it's a possibility. It's a huge possibility. His weird pigeon toe running that he has, and we talked about it quite a few times. It's funny to watch it, but it throws other players off as well. You don't know what to expect. Is this dude really going to try to juke me, or is he just running at me and just going to try to barrel through me? Like,
And we read an article saying that people saying that he finds his way to get open somehow. He's always open.
It's crazy.
So that's encouraging to see from a rookie. He's still got room to grow. But I often forget about him, believe it or not, when it comes to receiving core, and you have the 2 tight end sense. So that might take off pressure off the receivers anyways. But
Yeah, because we were talking earlier, like, Tillman, kind of like everyone puts him in there as that wide receiver 2 spot, but really, if we just go pass catchers, it's pass catcher 1 is Judy, pass catcher 2 is Njoku.
yeah.
So your top 2 are pretty strong, you think, you hope, but Njoku does struggle with drops from time to time and misses some games from time to time. So we got to have other guys step up and fill in.
Njoku will catch the highest contested ball.
Oh, every time.
Every single time, but drops a pass ready for numbers. Another thing I like about Fanning is the kid can block.
Yeah.
So if you're lining up 2 tight ends, there's so much you could do with that if they do that, one on each side of the field.
Yeah.
Opens up so much more.
Went to high school like about 15 minutes from here. He's right up the street. Camp McKinley. It's crazy.
It's a cool story. I really hope that he pans out and becomes like a focal point for the offense.
Yes.
Not just like a role player or something. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that we had him kind of pegged when we did our draft shows. Like, we would love to get him in that round, maybe a round or 2 lower. Actually, he was around that round. And when we got him, it was like, that's perfect fit.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we
Perfect
mocked him
fit.
like, usually it was like that 94 pick at the end of the 3rd, maybe early in the 4th, but I think the Browns just said, screw it, we're not messing around and missing out on this guy. We're going to get him. So 67, they just took him, and I'm glad they did. I was pumped about it.
So am I. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ohio kid, keeping him in Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta love that. What do you guys think about, like, Kevin, AB? Do you think that this season could go any way and they're safe no matter what? Or, I mean, do you think there's a situation where they're gone?
I'm in love. I love both of them. So I'm going to say, I think they're safe. And I think the reason why they're safe is because they really technically don't have a quarterback yet.
Yeah.
And if you go based upon rumors and read whatever you want to read, that the other guy wasn't their guy. So my hope is that Haslam sees that and he'll be like, all right, we're going to give you guys, reset this, give you guys another year or 2 to figure this out, So I'm a Kevin fan. I love Kevin. I know there's some knocks on him about situational play calling sometimes. But I think if you find him a quarterback, and it seems like they're giving him some range, some more power as far as offensively. So let's just see what he does at least the next 2 years, develop this quarterback into what they need him to have, and see where it goes from there. But I think he's safe, both of them.
I believe if they have a 500 or above season average, I think they'll be all right. Honestly,
I don't know about 500.
I was like,
If you get 500, you better as well give him a Super Bowl trophy at that point. It might be rough. It depends. It depends. Like, what's encouraging about Flacco is, like, I can see it, but then I often resort back to the playoff game where it's like the defense finally settled in and he threw us out of the game.
Yep.
So it's like, I don't know.
The thing I like about Andrew Berry the most is he's not Ray Farmer, so I'm cool with that. that's a highlight.
And I
for
think
him
this
for
is
sure.
Andrew Berry's probably, it can potentially be if they pan out his best shot.
Yeah.
So, and you actually give him a first-round pick finally after you gave him all away. Let's see what he does for the next couple of years with first-round pick, especially with 2 next year.
The thing with Browns fans too is, I think they're very quick to just be like, let's go and see what the next best thing could potentially be, and it's never that. I'm kind of with you. I love Kevin. I just think I worry because the seat's been hot or even up and down for so long that it's like, I think of it. I worry about consistency as far as like ownership looking down and going, hey, I just don't want to see a quick reaction and just a firing. And because you saw Dallas, I think they just plan to go and get a great head coach, and all of a sudden you're going with an offensive coordinator that has never been a coach. I don't really want to see us do that. I've seen us do that before many a times, and it hasn't worked out to this point.
Sometimes back-to-back years.
Yes,
Yeah, really.
Another one again.
I'm with you though. It's nice for the last 5 years we've had consistency at least at those two. They're critical positions.
Yeah,
it
and
hasn't
that's
always
why
panned
it's
out.
so good to find. You have to find your quarterback.
Yes.
Because if you can marry your quarterback with the system consistently, we've never had that.
No.
Like, you can do 3-4 years in the system with the same quarterback, same coach. You can just the language is easy.
Yeah.
You just, all right, this is what we do.
You don't have to reinvent it every
year. You
year.
don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Now,
We're not
every
talking
year
about
you're bringing
rolling
in
out
somebody new.
Yes.
Kenny Pickett, 2 rookies. Now you have to learn lingo and learn where to go, how to do things. So that's why you have to keep consistency. And that's why Pittsburgh's always good. That's why Tomlin's never below 500 because they have the same verbiage. Even though they cycle in players that seem to have the quarterback
The
issue.
whole fan base hates them as well. Hates him as well. So I mean,
True.
you got to take that one with a grain of salt for sure.
It is kind of crazy how much the Steelers fan base just doesn't seem to like Tomlin.
Yeah.
It's
I wouldn't
wild.
mind having him in
crazy.
Cleveland.
Bro,
Give him a quarterback.
he's a great coach.
Yeah, it's
I
like
hate
give
that
him a
he's a great
quarterback. He
coach.
probably would have won a couple more Super Bowls than
Yeah,
he
I
did,
think a lot of the Steelers' problems, they just don't have the right offensive coordinator. They don't get the right offensive mind in there. You know, Matt Canada, come on.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith, seriously? And they're going to roll it back with that.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're doing the retread quarterback thing.
Rodgers.
They tried the first-round pick with Kenny Pickett and, you know, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. And at some point, they just need to get a quarterback, a young guy. They're going to have to do something to find somebody and get a good offensive coach in there. I think Tomlin's a great head coach.
Might have him on the roster, man. I don't know.
Will Howard?
Yeah.
it could be.
don't know.
I mean, a lot of.
I heard it's been a little rough though so far for him. But,
Yeah, I mean,
you
he's a
know.
6th-round pick.
That's true.
Yeah.
Fair.
People are like, "Oh, he's gonna be great." I'm like, "He's a 6th-round pick, guys." Like, let's be real.
Shador's a
Like,
5th-round
I
pick.
love him. I love Will Howard. I love what he did with Ohio State. But like, I'm glad he didn't come here because fans are gonna be like,
Put
"You
him
thought
in."
Shador's crazy right now that he's gonna start week 1."
Yep.
Will Howard would probably be king of OTAs too. Between
I
him
couldn't
and-
even imagine how dysfunctional it would have been if we would have taken Howard and
Shador.
because then you just have
The fan base
too
would be
much
crazy.
going. Oh,
Yeah.
there's too much going on.
It's already divided. It'd be in threes.
Yeah, we got Ohio State fans too coming in.
How did you guys react when they took Gabriel in the third? Was it? I mean, because I know, I feel like everybody's like, wait,
But when
what?
when you step back away from the emotional aspect of it, you're like, well, it kind of makes sense. That's a Kevin guy, though he's like short,
He's
right?
very short, yeah.
But if you look at it, the height difference, like he's got the arm, he's got the accuracies. His
athletic,
percentage
yeah.
is high. He's he's athletic, so it makes sense. It's just confusing because I thought they could have got a receiver there.
Sure,
Yeah.
or safety.
That's what I
or-
thought. Yeah.
I had to let that one sink in. We're at our draft party, and I'm just like, that just happened.
Yeah, out of nowhere. I
Like
didn't
20
see that.
minutes later, I was like, oh, man, that really just happened. Like, why did we do that? But if the kid shows up, and I mean, which he does show potential, his college career was great. He's got 2 years on Shador's experience. So, I mean, he's got that going for
He's
him.
been interception touchdown ratio, which is important for Kevin. It's great. So that's something you have to look at.
The same thing with Shador, and I know you just, I think you were making the jest about Shador was a 5th-round pick, right? But nobody, we were talking earlier, nobody in the draft analyst space had him rated lower than a high 2nd-round pick. Yeah. Everybody had him typically 1st round, depending on who you listen to, where he was. But most people had him as a high 1st-round talent. So how do you guys feel? Do you think we actually got a 1st-round talent at quarterback in the 5th round? Is this going to somehow work out for the Browns?
So I was against the Shador thing for a long time. I really was.
Before or after?
Before.
So, like, opposed to us drafting him.
He didn't want to
leading
draft
up
him
to.
at
Okay,
all.
gotcha. All right.
And we even had the draft guide this year. I think the good one.
Brian.
And it was kind of shocking to after we got him in the 5th round. I'm like, you know what? So this guy was supposed to be 1st, 2nd-round talent all day, all year. What changed that in a matter of 3 weeks? Right. So if we got this guy in the 5th round, obviously we did something possibly right and possibly could be really bad or really wrong. Depends on how fast he drives this week. We'll find out.
I feel like I've been opposite. I feel like in our show I was advocating like Shador can't work because of the system fits him. You know, he's accurate. He throws. The only thing I'm worried about is he's a floater. He kind of takes a lot of sacks, and the offensive line doesn't help that cause. But now it's like I think I'm cautiously optimistic because I'm feel like, and I think this organization is not smart enough to hear the fans, but I'm afraid the fans are like, let's rush him in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fans need to understand, like, this guy probably didn't do enough like reading as far as playbook in Colorado. It probably was simplistic. And Kevin, he's coming in, probably taking this all on. Let's just take his time. And I think we take his time with him. I think we will find. I think he can start over Dillon for sure. I love Shador.
Man,
I just hope we do it right.
A lot of people are, they'll say, "Oh, well, how is Shador not ready?" He had Pat Shermer as his OC and everything, and I'm like,
Pat
you're talking
Shermer
to
was the
you're
coach.
talking to the wrong fan base if you're trying to use Pat Shermer as an argument. I mean, he couldn't get NFL players ready to play in the NFL. So
And he did have, 6 different offensive coordinators,
Yeah,
5 or 6 at the time. And so he's still learning, so.
And I think that's what minicamp and OTAs was all about for Shedeur specifically was he was the only guy that didn't take first-team reps with the other 3. And they were focusing on getting him up to speed. And, I think that's probably the right move if you want him to have a fair crack at things in training camp is make sure he's on the same level as the other 3 if you don't feel like he is. And I'm not saying talent-wise. I'm saying understanding of the NFL operations side of things.
It's all about verbiage. It's totally different. You come in, and it's one way with Pat. It's probably simplistic, probably a letter or 2. But you come in the NFL, any coach is like XYZ, WB, WXYZ, and you have to say in that whole, you have to be comfortable enough and confident enough. And, he's going to learn all that. He's smart. I'm not saying, when I tell people this, like, oh, you don't like him, like, no, I like him. That's why I don't want to rush him in because I don't want to ruin him.
You've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it many times where I fall in love with a quarterback. Like, this guy's going to be good. And they're like, he's starting week 1. And I'm like, no, he's going to ruin the guy.
Yep.
So I'm hoping. And worst case is you have 2 good quarterbacks and let them battle it out for 4 years. So you got control of them, right?
Yeah.
The 2 young guys.
Well, and it just opens up so much for us next year if we can find the quarterback somehow out of these 2 guys because – you got 2 first-round picks next year. You could get a left tackle, or if DeJuan Jones doesn't pan out, which I kind of have high hopes for DeJuan Jones. But either way, you need linemen, you need receivers, we need a safety, we need all these things that we could use those assets for instead of one of them or potentially packaging them up just to try to get a guy.
Yeah, even if you think you got the guy next year, he might not even be the guy.
That's another thing. People are they'll go to the tanking. Oh, they should just tank and get a high pick, or our quarterbacks in next year's draft. Well, who is it? I saw Tony Grossi said that, the franchise quarterbacks in next year's draft, but he didn't say who it was. Who the hell is it, Tony?
Well, there's 4 different ones. So, I want the one that's going to be better than the 4, so tell me the names. It's too early to tell that anyway.
It's so stupid because you're right. We could pick a guy in the first round next year. We've done it before, and it might not work out.
We've done that many times.
Yes.
I'm over it. That's why I don't want to rush. That's why I don't care. Is it Flacco pick? If it's Pickett, for my ego, I'll be happy. But if it's Flacco and we're winning, I just want to win. I'm tired of I'm tired of saying tank. Like, I've been tanking since 99.
Yeah.
I feel my soul, I'm 43.
Yeah.
I'm going to, God willing, I'll be here another 20, 40, 50 years. I want to see another champion or a friggin' Super Bowl run here at least.
We were joking as far as, even with the tanking stuff. We said we almost lost Myles Garrett last offseason because of this kind of attitude towards, oh, don't worry. And I'm not saying that's a locker room thing. I'm saying the fan base saying, just go out there, shit the bed for 16, 17 games, and let's go and get a high draft pick. And Jacksonville apparently is going to suck too because everybody keeps saying we're going to have 2 top 5 picks, and I'm like,
Josh gave you look like they're not going to suck. Is that what that look was? They're not going to suck. Jacksonville.
Well, how can you say that?
You know what I mean? You can't. So I'm not on board with the tanking. I don't think they're going to purposely just go out there.
Yeah.
But
at least not right away.
I think if you throw,
you wait till week 10,
then you put DTR in, and it's like, okay, wink, wink.
We got to see how he is.
Yeah.
We got to develop him.
Yep.
We waited 3 years to this point. Why not develop him now?
Last year was rough because as soon as they made that switch, okay, we're going to sit Jameis. I'm like, okay, he's struggling right now a little bit, throwing some picks. But DTR is not better than Jameis. Come on.
Well, then the crazy thing.
We had some fans about DTR could be good. I'm like, if he hasn't been good in 2 years, he's not going to be good.
Were any of you guys at the home opener last year against Dallas?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we went.
So I went as well. And do you remember after Deshaun Watson's first 3 and out, everybody was chanting DTR.
Yeah,
DTR.
That's every year. This is a normal thing.
I'm like, you guys are idiots.
Wait until Shedeur chants start to happen.
Oh, it'll be.
They're not
going to even be before the beginning.
He's going to already start.
Yeah, they're here.
The only way to temper them, in my opinion, at least for the first few weeks, is to play Flacco. Because enough fans love Joe Flacco that I think they'll, okay, he threw a pick. Okay, it's okay. We're still putting up points. We're still in this game or whatever. But, I mean, if it's Kenny Pickett,
fan base is going to riot.
Yes. And we were talking earlier, I feel kind of bad for Dylan Gabriel because I feel like he might get the same treatment as a Kenny Pickett would. Because there's no fan loyalty to him necessarily because he hasn't played it down yet. There's more fan loyalty to Shedeur just because of who he is.
Yeah.
People in the chat were talking about, look at Shedeur's jersey sales and all the merchandise on the website around Shedeur.
Let's compare that to Manziel. His jersey sales are insane.
Yeah.
No, I'm not comparing the 2 quarterbacks. Shedeur obviously prepares for football. Manziel didn't.
No, but the celebrity status.
Status
situation. I get that. Yeah. But, so I think even if you start with Dylan and he struggles, I mean, And we said if Dylan starts the season or he's the first rookie to get a crack at it and he struggles for a game or two, and then they bench him for Shedeur, he might be done.
That's it.
That might be his only opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. And that is going to suck for him because you think he came in with their fair shot. It seemed like they communicated, hey, if you're there, we're going to draft you. So that kind of makes me think he's going to get the first crack. Right?
Yeah. When we watched that, I don't know, you guys might have seen this too. You see the call, from Stefanski, to Dylan Gabriel. I'm going, well, that was their guy all along. That was the guy that they wanted to go after.
Yep.
You could see it plain as day, just about everything they talked about. Oh, hey, everything we discussed, now we're going to roll that out. You know what I mean? I think that
and Dylan's mom said, I loved you to Kevin. I mean, so there's some relationship
there.
there.
That's why I said, like, they've obviously spent time together.
Yeah. So just, I'm with you on that. We kind of use the analogy. Gabriel doesn't have to screw up as much, but it's still kind of safe. And then Sanders has to almost be perfect.
Yeah.
And Gabriel has to be awful, for him to even get the opportunity, it feels like.
Yeah.
So.
I'm hoping that Shedeur comes in outside of what just recently happened, but comes in and just, it's not perfect, but shows growth from where he was at minicamp.
Absolutely.
To where they're like, all right, we can keep these two. Because I know I'm saying Kenny Pickett. It's only from a win perspective.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of starting a rookie. So if they say these two are growing, get rid of one of these guys, start Flacco and we'll win more, then I'm okay with that.
Right.
Keeping two young guys is smart.
If you, Mary Kay put out an article last week talking about, if Shedeur shows the same growth through training camp that he showed through OTAs and minicamp, she said there's a realistic shot that he, at least takes that QB2 spot moving into the season. And I thought, okay, Mary Kay writing that, that's kind of meaningful to me anyway, that she was there for all of, rookie minicamp, OTAs, and then veteran minicamp and saw enough growth from him to say he's progressing at a rapid rate from where he started. And I think we saw it talk about all the time in the video clips and stuff you see. Like at rookie minicamp, there was a play or two where the pressure came and he drifted back.
Yeah.
And it was like, shit, there it is. That's what killed him so much in college. And then you get to OTAs and you see the same situation where pressure comes in and he steps up, he finds a passing lane instead of drifting back. And it's like, ooh, okay, I like to see that. And then they said his mechanics look different, just tighter spirals. And it's just good to hear that. And he says it himself all the time in his interviews. He's like, I got stuff to work on. I got to keep getting better, and he is. And
that's the encouraging thing. A lot of fans are like, he has an ego problem. He's self-entitled. He's spoiled. And then you come and hear him say total opposite of what everybody thinks. Like, you guys don't know him. So it's encouraging to see him say all that and grow. Even he said during his one of his press conferences, like, I still got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So he knew where he was, and hopefully he grows into something. I'll be excited.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This season, so I usually get amped up before every season. I try not to do it last year, but I did. I was like, we got this. This is our year, like we do every year.
Yep, every year.
This year, I am going in with zero hope.
I like this.
Positive.
Yeah, that way I'll stay positive, no matter what. No matter the circumstances, it'll be so much easier to do a show knowing it's going to be a complete shit show. So you win some, you lose some, man.
Yeah, I was all in last year, too, because I'm like, Dallas, Prescott just got signed 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Like, how is this? And then I looked at him like, that's going to be a long season. This is not going to be good.
That home opener was such a
woof.
Whew, man, we were up there, and just the body language on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And Amari Cooper was the big one we talk about all the time because they would break the huddle, and, his head would just go, like, this play, this guy can't run the play. We can't run this all. And you just see it's like, they're not bought in. I'm like, dude, this don't look good.
No.
And we're getting just cremated out there.
I was at the Baltimore game that we won where JOK went down as well. I think Jameis could have possibly thrown 4 interceptions that game, but luckily the sun was on our side.
Yeah.
That was interesting to watch because horrible game, JOK going down. Obviously not knowing what's going to happen now. He's out for the rest of this year.
Sucks.
That's another huge thing. What do you guys think about Schlesinger? That was what I wanted to bring up.
I like the story, right? Like you hear everything about him. The more that I've seen, especially his film and then his interviews, I think we're gonna like this kid.
He's
a lot.
smart, man.
I think we're gonna like him a lot. I was like, oh hey, cool story, and then the more I've learned about the dude, I'm like, this guy's gonna be probably a difference maker for us on this team, especially with how JOK being out. when that pick came through, I was like, oh, I felt kind of like sick to my stomach because I was like, is that the JOK? Like, is that the signal? And then right after that, they said, he's at least out for this year. But I'm excited for him. I think he can be sideline to sideline a difference maker for this team.
He was like one of the top 3 rated linebackers in this draft. I mean, some people had him as a first rounder, and then I think whenever he fell and was sitting there at 33, because I know the Browns were trying to get back up from 33 to get a tackle. Yeah, like Josh Simmons or the kid out of Oregon, Josh Connerly. But sitting there at 33, they're like, wow, Schlesinger made it through the first, and he's here. We'll just take him. And they knew that JOK wasn't going to be out there this year.
It would be interesting if JOK wasn't hurt, they would have taken him, because I think you can play them. You could have played those two together.
Yeah.
Most likely. So you would have added depth to that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when that pick happened, I said who? Because linebacker wasn't on my radar. Again, I was thinking receiver. Right, I was thinking you need a receiver.
All offense, bro.
Everybody was thinking quarterback at 33, right?
I was a big Mason Graham fan, so I was excited for Mason Graham. I was like, at the beginning, I had Mason Graham and Carter. And they're like, oh, Mason Graham. I was like, Mason Graham is going to be a dog. You guys, I'm telling you, Mason, right next to Miles or anybody, he's going to be just a baller. And when they drafted him, trade down, drafted him, I was excited. But him, he was good. Then as I got into reading and looking tape and stuff like that, I'm like, I can see why they got him. Dude's smart. He's a self-motivator.
Yep.
And he's gonna ball out.
I'm excited for Schlesinger. I'm excited for all the rookies, honestly. Just the thing with the rookie draft class is the 2 quarterbacks, because you can only play 1 quarterback at a time.
Yeah.
And if somebody's going to be the franchise guy, it can only be one of them.
Yep.
So we'll see how it plays out.
It's going to be a fun mini camp. Training camp for sure. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
I'm not watching any of it.
You got to talk about it every Tuesday, dog.
I'm honestly interested to see how the scrimmage games are going to go. You're playing a Super Bowl team, the Eagles, and they're playing who else? Is it Jacksonville?
No, is it Carolina?
Carolina Panthers. Sorry. It's going to be interesting to see what they do there, especially preseason. You're going to see a lot of the other quarterbacks. That's what I'm looking forward to. Everybody, Chad on our show, hates preseason, doesn't even watch it.
He's going to like it this year.
He's going to. He has no choice. He's going to have to watch.
All the Browns fans are going to watch it like it's a Super Bowl, because they're going to dissect every throw.
I was really big on preseason, didn't matter at all, right? Until I watched us not practice in the preseason, and I was like, hey, turns out this is maybe important to show up to a little bit here and get in some reps.
And credit for them, the organization, to see that, because they're switching everything over this year. The players are like, my God, this is not tougher than going to the Greenbrier on vacation and practicing and
Camp Cupcake.
Yeah, Camp Cupcake, exactly.
Yeah. It was definitely soft last year. We went up to training camp, and I remember we're sitting there like, this kind of feels not high intensity or anything. Very soft out here.
Jog through.
Yeah. Good job.
All the problems we saw all season, we can go right back to training camp and preseason, because we saw it all. It was all there.
Starts from day one.
Yeah.
And so hopefully they are, strong. Just continue this through the season.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, hopefully we don't have to talk about Deshaun Watson at all this year.
He's going to be on the roster, so
we'll do that next year.
We'll see.
Yes, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
That's our slogan, right?
Well, thanks for sitting down with us, guys.
Just
let everybody know again where to find you guys, when to listen, all that kind of stuff.
7:30 live on all platforms. We're live. We do our show at 7:30, and we're on X, Twitter. Mike, you signed us up for everything.
Every Tuesday. Every Tuesday.
So we're on X, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, obviously. So follow us all on there. Bearded Browns podcast. We've been pumping out some content lately, so hopefully you guys like it and give us a follow.
Oh yeah, follow them guys.
You guys are doing a great job.
Guys.
Great follow. So follow these guys and tune into their show on Tuesdays at 7:30.
Yep. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Till next time.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dawgs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedawgspodcast.com.